Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are in chapter 7 of Amrutanubhava, and we are looking at the various examples which bring our attention to the indivisible principle, uncorruptible principle, unchanging principle. And today also in the meditation we saw, just like we see many petals of the lotuses, but the lotus is one. We see many phases of the moon, but the moon is one. There are millions of words in the house of speech, however the speech is but one. And in this way our attention was being brought to that one principle rather than the variety, the multiplicity. Multiplicity will go on, variety will continue. It is the expression of that. You can say it is the expression of the one, or the variety is included in the one, and that one, even though it is supporting all the variety which is emanating out of it, yet it is independent of all that variety, and that I am, that the self is. And in this way the world of the multiplicity may be appearing as many, but the substratum which is supporting it has never become many. And this particular thought is concluded in the 143rd OV of the 7th chapter. Taise dirshyache dhakhale nana drushtiche umale uthati lekha vegade vedatvechi. Similarly, multitude of seen objects, seer subjects, and their seeing keep on erupting on the pure consciousness. These are the points to contemplate. It will take you to meditation straight away. Just as there are many objects, idam, appearing in the world, and how do you know them? By way of thought. But for that thought to appear, there must be a thought. What is the composition of a thought? Subject, object, and instrument of knowledge. So with every object that is perceived by any of our senses, or even imagined by our mind, any object, the subject has to be there, and that subject is I. So even that, with every object, the I is coming, and when the object goes away, the I also goes away. In other words, when the thought goes, the I also goes away. The subject also goes away, the object also goes away, and the instrument also goes away. Then there is silence. Then the next thought comes. It is again a mixture of subject, object, and instrument of knowledge. And in this way, the whole thing is going on. And where is it going on? Just like the waves are going on. Wave is happening on the surface of the ocean, on the surface of the waters. Similarly, these thoughts are happening on the surface of consciousness. Consciousness is the substratum. Consciousness itself, with reference to the thoughts, is called as mind. we are just holding on to the waves and thinking it is the infinite waters. That will be stupidity. Infinite waters is much more than the waves. Wave is limited, wave is finite, wave is temporary, whereas the water is unlimited, infinite, constant. If you understood this example just now, what I said, same way we are holding on to the temporary thoughts, the temporary convictions, the temporary ideas, temporary imaginations, temporary words, experiences. But just as the wave, which was temporary, which is not made of anything else but water, but only on the surface, water is much more than that. Similarly, these thoughts are like that, waves, temporary, finite, coming and going, but the substratum is the self, which is not temporary, which is infinite. On the ocean of the pure consciousness, there are eruptions of waves in the form of different individualities, inert and sentient. This can be perceived in the dream. On the surface of consciousness, on the surface of the mind, both the inert and the sentient appear in the dream. Same way is happening in the waking also. We are insisting on only this wave I am, and thus all the misery begins. And then immediately we'll say, is it not my duty to take care of my family and my children and grandchildren and the world? I have to do good for the world. Then suffer. Just as the creation of millions of waves or their destruction has no impact on the ocean, so also the pure consciousness manifesting at different points has not suffered any loss or gain. Millions of waves have appeared, because the appearance of millions of waves, the ocean or the water has not become less. And because millions of waves are merging back into the ocean does not increase in size. Exactly the same way, because of the millions of thoughts appearing, the pure consciousness that I am has not reduced. And because the thoughts are merging back into their source, the pure consciousness has not increased. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. This is our reality. Don't deviate from it. Our attention is on that which is coming and going, and therefore the suffering, therefore the security, therefore the survival. Therefore, we want to manage life. Continue doing that, but bring your attention again and again to this constant principle that I am the untouched one. I am supporting everything, but untouched by anything. Everything is in me, I am in everything. Nothing is in me, I am in nothing. Yet I support everything without getting influenced by everything. This should be our disposition. From every one of these points, the Drashta Drishya Darshana trio expression is going on. At every thought, at every point of creation, the seer seen seeing, the hearer heard hearing, the experiencer experienced experiencing, etc. These are the trio, the triad. In Sanskrit, the triputi. This is going on. Without this triputi, it is happening at the macro level, in the manifestation, in the creation. The moment the word creation comes, whatever is the triputi at the macrocosmic level and the triputi at the microcosmic level is taking place. Therefore, let us look at the world. Therefore, let us look at the world not as one wave looks at another, but as the ocean looks at the waves and the consciousness expressing as manyness. So this is our attempt. Even right now, when you are listening, if you do this practice while listening, then it will percolate into the rest of your life slowly, slowly, slowly. And what is that? I am the same, I am the one who is behind the senses, I am the one who's behind all the thoughts, I am supporting all the thoughts and sense perceptions. Sense perceptions come and go, thoughts come and go, ideas come and go, words come and go, but I continue to be the same. Be attentive even while this dialogue is going on. Be attentive of it. And when your attention gets settled, actually it can never get settled. It becomes immune to all the changes, all the comings and goings of the thoughts. Once that happens, that it becomes immune, at that very moment when it is not affected by the coming and going, then this I, this attention, immediately goes back to its source. But if you imagine that it takes long time for this to go back, then you will create that reality for yourself. But you go with the facts, you go with the understanding, don't go with your imagination. But as the ocean looks at the waves, one consciousness expressing as manyness. So our attempt should be that just as the ocean is looking at all the waves, what will be its vision? Our vision should be this whole expanse of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti is an expression of this consciousness that I am. If everything is an expression of consciousness that I am, then what will be my rules of engagement with the waking world, dream world, and the absence of the two? What will be my rule of engagement? Our rule of engagement should be the same as the ocean, undisturbed, unaffected, uninfluenced. The moment you get influenced, affected, then you are no longer maintaining the vision of totality. You are coming into individuality. And there is suffering only in individuality. In totality, there is no suffering. This manyness is expressed in two ways, sentiency and knowingness. The sentiency aspect is common to everything. The knowingness, when it expresses as knower known knowledge, trio, gives rise to the individuality. Sentiency is the principle. What is sentiency? Life expressing through matter. That is sentiency. Life is expressing through trees, animals, mosquitoes, human beings, gods, rishi munis, murderers, killers, thieves. The variety in this creation is infinite. And this creation is, some places it is sentient, some places it is insentient. Some places it is only matter, and at other places there is consciousness expressing through matters at different levels. So, what is sentiency? Sentiency is consciousness expressing through matter. This is a common principle. Don't only look at the physical world. Keep the physical world and the dream world together. There also you see inert matter. There also you see beings through whom the life is expressing. Life as a principle. In this wooden table, there is no mind, therefore no life. Consciousness cannot express. But is consciousness there or not there? Is there consciousness in the wood? I'm asking.
Yes, yes, Swamiji, unmanifest.
Unmanifest. Because wood is a material which is not capable of reflecting that consciousness. So, in what manner is the consciousness expressing, or that reality expressing through the wood? Only as existence. Satchidananda. So here only Sat aspect of the reality is expressing. In plants, the consciousness, Chit aspect is expressing. In animals, it is expressing even more. In human beings, even more. The sentiency aspect is common to everything. The knowingness, now first was the basic principle, sentiency, life principle. Consciousness expressing through matter is life. It is the same with me, it is the same with you, all who are sitting, with same with wherever life is expressing, the principle is the same. Now we come to knowingness. The knowingness, when it expresses, how does it express? It expresses as the Triputi, the knowingness. Does a tree have Triputi? See? It expresses as the Triputi, knower, known, and knowledge. Subject, object, and the instrument of knowledge. The trio gives rise to the individuality. It is the hardening into the individuality that causes all the sufferings, because the, what is it? Because the Jnata Jnaya Jnanam, Dhyata Dheya Dhyanam trios are kept intact. Means we are projecting that it's the same. The truth is, our data is, the fact is that the trios come and go. That the trio comes and goes. But what are you keeping? You are keeping the seer, seen, seeing intact. Think how. Give me one example. How you are keeping the seer, seen, seeing intact. Not allowing it to, because every thought is coming and going. How you have kept it intact? Give me one example.
By thinking about past.
By thinking about past, okay. Right now?
Going back to the sentence that you have just said.
I am seeing I am the subject, the seer, this body is the object, and I am accepting, and I kept this, I am this body intact right now, isn't it? Therefore, I'm feeling I'm inadequate, that I'm not realized, that I have to do a lot of sadhana to realize, etc., etc.
And seeing, Swamiji, seeing like, I'm here and you are there.
That is also there, but that is all, that is add on to the idea that I am this. Understand? After that, this and that comes. But first, I am this is locked in your imagination. And when it gets locked in, is the birth of the ego. And what is the truth? What is the data? What is the fact? Even at this moment, that everything is coming and everything is going. Nothing is staying, nothing is locked in continuously. Cannot be. It's a continuous movement. Whether you look outside or you look inside, it's a continuous movement. It's a continuous flow. But we have taken ourselves, we have stopped that flow somewhere. We accept it is a flow, but it is my flow. Because we have said it is my body, it is my experience, it is my reality. Then, with that idea, not seeing the whole happening from the totality point of view, we are now seeing whatever is happening from the individuality point of view. And in that totality, I have accepted I am this one expression rather than being the total. Only this truti, only this correction has to be made, and you are free. Only this correction. Change of vision, change of approach, change in the rule of engagement. Rather than taking the individual standpoint, we have to continue to impress upon our mind to take the total standpoint. Again and again and again and again, till one day it clicks. It can only get clicked. You cannot create the total standpoint, but you can keep attempting to appreciate what Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, what the various Upanishads are saying, Bhagavad Gita is saying, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. So in this manner, it is this hardening into the individuality that causes all the suffering. So what is this hardening? Hardening is, I am only this eyes, I am only these ears, I am only these five senses, these are my thoughts, this is my life, I was born, one day I will die, these are my experiences of life, I have had a very hard life. And every data that we interact with from from a lock-in point of view, our individuality keeps hardening further and further and further and further. But it cannot maintain that hardness because it's not its nature. I, the consciousness, has become crystallized like the ice. But is the nature of water as ice? It's a temporary phase. That ice cannot remain permanently. And therefore, every night when we go to sleep, that eye melts and we become free. We go back to being the source. But next morning, again, the memories click in and again the individuality begins. So, do service to yourself first than the world. Dissolve this ego, dissolve this individuality by taking the position of totality. And the moment that happens, everything around you will change. But you will not notice it because you are not there. Others will notice it. We are only saying this out of observation and also from understanding. And as individualities, one functions through one aspect of the totality, only one aspect of the totality. This body is one aspect of the totality. One wave is one aspect of the totality. One ornament is one aspect of the totality. We are locked into that one and forgotten that we are essentially the infinite. And we keep insisting that through memories, through emotions, through interactions, by insisting that I am a husband, I am a wife, I am a teacher, I am a student. Various roles we keep insisting. As individualities, one functions through one aspect of the totality called the knowingness, which causes all the entanglements and sufferings, and subsequently that alone appears as a real. So when that knowingness is dissolved, the triputi is dissolved, then that alone appears as the real. The same thought that the pure consciousness never loses its non-duality is emphasized through another example. गुळाचा वाधा मोडलिया मोडीचा मोहीचा क्या है धंदा मोडीचा धंदा झाला तरी नुसधा गुळची की तो. When a block of jaggery is broken into many pieces, these pieces may be called by different names as big and small, etc. But essentially, all these are jaggery indeed. Just now I had a tea and I put jaggery in it. Big pieces, small pieces, powder, chura. But everything is jaggery. When a block of jaggery is broken into pieces, the pieces will be nothing other than jaggery. In the same way, the whole world is the manifestation of Paramatma Tattva. So just as all the pieces of jaggery are nothing but jaggery, all the variety of the universe, of the creation, is nothing but the Paramatma Tattva. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is not taking our attention. All the variety of the creation is nothing but the creation. No. All the variety of the creation is nothing but the Paramatma Tattva. The substratum. There is nothing else other than the truth. Everything else observes only to be devalued. All specificity, all triputis. Our name of the game is all the triputis need to be devalued. And how do you devalue it? By not giving value and importance to it. Be equanimous. Don't insist to be the seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, taster, thinker, knower, experiencer. Automatically, when this fellow is not interested, not giving value and importance, the drashta has become, the eye has become the drashta, then the drishya and the darshanam, it will automatically melt away. then the experience and the experienced will melt away. Because there is no experiencer. He is remaining equanimous. The intellectual personality is the greatest handicap on the spiritual path. The true personality is that of a devotee who surrenders his own will to the Lord's will. If we are studying the Gyan Marg or the Sankhya Marg, the intellectual approach is there, and in that intellectual approach the I is there. If that I is not dissolved, then even more arrogance that I know the Vedas, that I am a sannyasi, that I am a stupid sannyasi, that I am an intelligent sannyasi, I am a half-cooked sannyasi, that I am a grahastha, that I am a good grahastha who is taking care of all those who are depending upon me. I am a dharmic grahastha, following the dharma, doing my duties. All that good is happening in my life is because of the good deeds that I have done in my past life. Where is the attention? In all these statements, it is on the I. I did the good deeds, therefore my life is good. I did the good deeds, that's why the scriptures are coming. I am doing the good deeds, future also will be good. Atke raho. Get out of all this. The true personality is that of a devotee. So, while studying Vedanta, while contemplating, every day some time must be spent taking the name of the Lord, where our speech or our thoughts go from Vaikhari to Madhyama to Pashyanti, Para. We learn consciously how to maintain from manyness to the silence and remain in silence for some time. Every day, learn to surrender, learn to merge, learn to remain in silence, and don't go to sleep. That on one side, and on the other side, every day listen to satsang, reformat your mind, refine your mind, get refocused on the nature of that to whom the surrender is taking place is none other than the self that you are. And in this way, this two wheels, the two wings of a bird which make it fly, these are the two wings. On one side the contemplation and the other side the devotion. Then only we'll be able to soar. The only approach to be followed consistently is that the world is nothing but the Shuddha Chaitanya. This is their vision of the totality. The ocean is saying the entire world of waves is nothing but the self alone. There is no place for logic in this approach. Then for whom is the logic? For whom is Vedanta? For whom is the Sankhya Marg or this student-disciple interaction? Because individuality is there, that's why. But when we are doing devotion, when we are doing puja, archa, japa, meditation, there the individuality is surrendered at the feet of the Lord. In thinking, in intellectualizing, are we surrendering? We are only surrendering if our attention is on the conscious principle. But if you are thinking that I am understanding, then and I understood what was told, and yeah, I am very clear, this, that, our individuality is getting, what do you call, more crystallized. Yes, it is not tamisically crystallized, now it is sattvically crystallized. That's all. But that also needs to be melted, dissolved. There is no place for logic in this approach. When love matures, it becomes Shraddha. All that is needed is a change of vision. Then the perception will be different. When love matures, it is Shraddha. Shraddha means what? What is Shraddha? Very simple answer is faith. But what is faith? Our Gurudev has
Having no doubt.
having no doubt, correct? Our Gurudev has said it very nicely. Believing in something that you do not know with the belief that you will one day come to know. How will you come to know one day? By being it, not objectively. So what is unconditional love? What is divinity? It's Satchidanand Swarup. What is God? You can give it some idea, etc. But when the surrender happens, when the merging happens, when the absorption happens, why you are pursuing it? Because you have a belief that by doing that, the scriptures are saying it, masters are saying it, so it is a worthy goal to pursue. Are we there yet? Yes and no. See? Both. It depends where your attention is. So, love cannot happen, understand, love cannot happen from individual standpoint. The mother feeling the love towards the children is because she has included the children in her definition of I. That is why love is. I love my parents because I have included my parents in the definition of I that I am. Who is the Lord? Who is the ocean? Who has accepted all the waves in himself? Can we bring this about? But for that, we have to drop the insistence that only my children, only my husband, only my wife, only my parents. No. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapad. All the parents are my parents. All the children are my children. This will be the total vision, not the individual vision. Then and then alone unconditional love will express through you. And that unconditional love, when it clicks, when you abide in it, is none other than your own essential nature. And then the mind, when it clicks in that mind which has been, just like when we take a dip in the Mansarovar lake and we come out wet, cleaned, purified. Similarly, when we take the dip in the waters of unconditional love, the self, and when the mind comes back out, it is wet with love. That love, when the mind again manifests, that is Shraddha. Now, whatever it sees, hears, touches, feels, thinks, everything is becoming an excuse to be that constant, to be that substratum. It's not forgetting that. In this way, all that is needed is a change of vision, and that change of vision cannot happen by your will. Yet, will has to be exercised, Purusharth has to be put forth with this understanding that what I am seeking, I am already that. And for that, I must, the Purusharth is not maintaining the individuality. Purusharth or the effort is to keep myself available for the total vision all the time, every moment of my life. Therefore, with the example of the jaggery, it is concluded that in spite of the manyness in the seer and the seen, the oneness in the pure self is never lost. तैसे हे दृश्य देखो कि किं बहु होऊनी फांको परिभेदाचा नव्हे विखो तेची म्हणोनी. Therefore, let the Supreme Self become a seer and express as many seen objects, yet there is no trace of duality created in the self. Why there is no trace of duality created in the self? Because many seers are not allowed to erupt. Seer remains one, seen comes and goes. But there is no value giver, importance giver, owner of that scene. Just what your attitude is towards all the objects in the room right now. You are listening to me with focus, with attention, but you are aware of all the objects in the room. But because of that awareness, you are not locked into any object. So remain locked in with the self and look at the world like you are looking at all the objects in the room. This is still a very limited example, because here you are seeing that the objects are separate to you, but it will help that you are not owning every object in the room. But if in the back of your mind it is, this is my room, this is my object, I bought it here, I bought it there, gone. So we'll look at this. कर ही सकते हैं. In the same way as the jaggery and the broken pieces of jaggery being one and the same, when we see the objective world, there may be multiplicity, but never was there anything other than the Paramatma in the world. There is no differentiation on account of the seer seen seeing, therefore the truth alone is the reality. This we have mentioned few times. This thought is to be contemplated upon. From where does the speech begin? From a point that is I. From that point it expands into multiplicity, good speech, bad speech, etc. This I from which everything begins, expands, multiplies, and then comes back is the pure consciousness, which is the same for all individuals. It is one substratum expressing through many points, but the Atma has never suffered a split into seer and seen, just like the ocean has never split into different waves, or the water has never split into the manyness of waves or manyness of oceans. Water is the continuous principle. Similarly, this Atma is also continuous principle. If Atma is continuous, but I see so many minds, yes, this Atma that I am is pervading all the minds. How can I be your mind? How can I be her mind? How can I be his mind? There are 8 billion people on the earth. How can be the mind of all the 8 billion people? You can. If you try to uh, be one with one by one, it is not possible. A different approach. What is the approach? All the 8 billion people are in my mind. Story over. You don't have to work on each one of them. How? Just like in the dream. Having taken this position that I alone am expressing, they alone are in my mind, in the mind, in the consciousness that I am, stay there. Nothing more to be done. Nothing more to be worked out. Because you are not working out, mind will become empty, it might go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. Sleep is only coming because you are not doing the contemplation with bhava, with focus. You are not doing it subjectively. Tiredness comes when we are objective in our approach. Sleep comes when we are objective in our approach. It becomes mechanical. But when it is subjective, subject matter never sleeps. He is alone who is awake in spite of waking dream and deep sleep. And that I am. In this manner, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is bringing us to that one indivisible principle that is our essential nature. And that is why he is called Mauli, mother. How painstakingly, never losing the enthusiasm. So many pages we have studied already. So many OVs we have studied in Amrutanubhava. 7th chapter we are on. Imagine same point, the substratum is being explained from so many different points of view. From Shiva Shakti Samavesh to Guru Stavanam, through the Satchidananda Nirupanam, then through the sadhana of Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. Now is saying the same point, but the topic of the chapter is ignorance is denied. First it was told everything is Satchidananda, then it says Satchidananda is also an abuse. Now he is saying even ignorance is not there. But the heading may be this, but your attention is being brought back to the substratum. So these are only 7 chapters. Hopefully, by studying these chapters and the verses therein, our attention, like 7 chapters are bringing us, every word of Jnaneshwar Maharaj is bringing, every example is bringing us back to the substratum that we are. It becomes so ingrained within us. It becomes a default setting that when we move in this world, whatever we see, hear, touch, feel, taste, imagine, think, interact with, it brings us back to reminds us of the substratum that we are. Every contact, every event, every experience must be an impetus for us to recognize the constancy of our nature, true nature. If that is achieved by studying the Amrutanubhava, the words of Jnaneshwar Maharaj, then alone we have done true justice to the great master. Then we are true students. With With that, we conclude for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.